good, people? Thanks as always for passing by the channel, much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. All right, so a few people have asked me my opinions on the Jarrell Miller situation. For those of you that have been living on Mars, obviously Jarrell Miller tested positive for 3 banned substances in the lead up to his fight against Anthony Joshua. EPO, Endurodol, I think it's Endurodol, and human growth hormone. We all, I think, expected a lengthy ban to be imposed by the New York State Athletic Commission, but it has been revealed that Jarrell Miller, in the lead up to this fight, doesn't actually have a New York State boxing license. So they actually can't ban him because they haven't licensed him. So as it stands right now, they can't ban him. So I think a lot of people have sort of come to the assumption that he gets off scot-free, which he doesn't really, but that's why a lot of people are angered by it. All right, so let's look at a few things. First and foremost, I think the biggest punishment for Jarrell Miller is losing out on this opportunity, right? I don't know how many fights Jarrell Miller's had. What has he had? 24, 25 fights, I think. You combine the total purses for all of those fights, not just his boxing fights, but his kickboxing fights, even probably his outside ventures, whatever he's doing outside to earn some money. He would never, I don't think, have earned anywhere near $6.5 million. That's what we're led to believe that he was going to be paid, $6.5 million. And maybe more as well when you add in sort of the outside sponsors that he would have been getting as well, right? This is a big, big deal for sponsorships. So he probably would have been getting anywhere between $6.5 and $7.5 million, right? Madison Square Garden, and the chance to be the unified heavyweight champion of the world. That's bigger than any punishment that can be handed out, right? Way bigger, way bigger. So whether he gets a 2-year, a 4-year, or a lifetime ban, nothing's bigger than losing out on that opportunity as far as I'm concerned. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think and I want him to be banned, but $6.5 million. I mean, fuck me, come on, he's lost a lot already. So that's a bigger punishment for me. With regards to his ban, I still think it's going to be incredibly difficult for him if he wants to or chooses to go and get a license anywhere else in America. We'll talk about other countries in a minute. I don't think sort of what are the bigger ones, Nevada and California, are oblivious to what's happened, right? They will look at all the things that have gone on before issuing a license, and I don't think they're going to give licenses up that easy, especially to California. I mean, he's had an issue with California in the past because he tested positive in the lead up to a kickboxing event. I can't remember when, a few years back. So he's had an issue with California already. And the problem with boxing in America is that it's just so fragmented, right? The idea that one state could license you to fight and another state might say no, it's just crazy. I remember in the lead up to Cotto Margarito, the second one, and I think Margarito had an issue with one state issuing him a license to box because of his eye. Do you remember his eye was all fucked up? So he went to another state. I can't remember that. I have to kind of research it again, but he went to another state and they licensed him. So it's crazy. It should be a blanket ban. If one state says no, that should be it, I think, for all of America. Not the idea of cherry picking states that people deem softer than other states. It's just crazy. I do find it strange as well that in the lead up to such a big fight, and this is a big, big fight, that Jarrell Miller didn't even have a New York State license. I find that weird. I know that the last couple of fights he's had, I think, have been in Chicago. But, I mean, this is a big fight. Get your license sorted. I mean, again, I don't know how and the procedure to get a license in America, but I do know the procedures to get a license in the UK. And you do have to do a lot of things, right? They will test you. You have an MRI scan. They will test you for things like HIV and hepatitis, just to make sure you're fine, so you tick that box. I mean, imagine that he couldn't get a license based on something like that. So you'd think that a license would be one of the first things that are ticked off, especially when you consider that this guy does live in Brooklyn. I mean, he is a Brooklyn boy, a Brooklyn native, so you think that he would have his New York license kind of done and dusted, but he doesn't. But for me, going back to kind of what we said in the beginning, I think the bigger punishment for him is that he's lost out on $6.5 million, right? That's the bigger punishment. My fear is, though, that he could go overseas and get a license. I feel like they might be a bit more lax about this. I don't know why I'm thinking of countries like Russia. I don't know why. That's probably bad just to think of someone like Russia, but I do feel like he could go overseas where they might be a bit more lenient and get licensed. Will he earn some money? I don't know, probably. I mean, he's still a name. That's my fear. That's the only one fear I have about this whole situation. But I do think him losing out on such a big payday, such a high-profile fight, the chance to become world champion is a huge punishment. So whether or not this little fucker gets 2, 4, 6 or a lifetime ban, he's feeling it now. Trust me, he's feeling it now. So I'm not that pissed off. I was when I first heard the news, but boxing is fucked. It really is. Do you remember that David Haye, Derek Chisora situation where they had that fight at the press conference for Chisora versus Vitali, and they both got their licenses suspended by the British Boxing Board of Control? They went to fucking Luxembourg, got Luxembourg licenses, and still fought in Britain. Where did they fight? Upton Park, West Ham Stadium. How the fuck? How does that work? How can you go to Luxembourg, get a Luxembourg license, and then actually take the piss and still fight in Britain? So I do wonder if that's the same in America. Anyone kind of let me know, please. Can you get a license from another country and still fight in America? Can you do that? Probably not. I feel like America will be a bit more strict on that, but that's a loophole in boxing. So, I mean, I'm sure that Jarrell Miller will find a loophole to somehow fight again a lot sooner than we think. Anyway, let me know what you think. Peace.